What I'm about to show you is so freaking insane that if you do not have a gun and know how to use it, you had better go out and get one now with some training before it is too late. I do not ever say that, but this, ladies and gentlemen, is my biggest fear for the culmination of 2024, and it's why I focus so much on home safety and home defense in the Lethality University, in my social media. Everything this year, leading up to this year, I've been saying 2024 is going to be the year where we need to know how to defend our homes like never before. Watch this video here and just see what takes place in this Aurora, Colorado, which is historically a really nice town, a really nice neighborhood. See what happens to the residents within this apartment complex when these Venezuelan gang members finally have weapons in their hands. They've got guns with them. They've brought them over. They probably acquired them locally also. See what happens. And just ask yourself, what in the frickin' hell would you do if this was you? Forcing their way in. Knocking on the door, rifle in hand, pistol in hand, forcing their way in once the door's opened. All of them got guns, except for the dude on the cell phone, which has probably got a gun somewhere else. All this trash that they're piling up all over the place, not giving a shit, making it look like Caracas. Dumping the parking lots. They actually almost hit these guys recording this video. I watched an unfiltered version of this video, and they tried running these dudes over, and then you hear gunshots popping off in the background. Not at them, but just in the background, popping off like 15 gunshots. And what they're talking about now is that the apartments get shut down due to code violations. These gang members, they understand how the U.S. code system works. They'll get everybody thrown out for code violations, and now it's theirs. They're not gonna leave. What? Make them leave. This is what happens when you have open borders, ladies and gents. There is a such thing as illegal immigrants. There is a such thing as illegal humans. People like this should not be here in America. You guys need to know how to defend yourself with a gun, with a firearm, with your family. Should all know how to use them as well. Because this right here is exactly how it begins. What's other sanctuary cities are out there? Chicago, Oakland, San Francisco, New York. All you dummies. And I don't say that word lightly. I say that because now you're putting your family's lives at risk and the lives of everybody else. Hundreds of millions of our own tax dollars are going to funding. These guys probably bought clothes with your tax dollars, and now they're robbing you. They probably bought the gun with your tax dollars. So this is 100% legitimate, because when you go on here and you start looking, Special Task Force, armed crew flaunts guns in apartment, Colorado Task Force, migrant gang takes over apartments. Mayor addresses Venezuelan gangs. Venezuelans gather in Aurora for presidential election. Yeah, I wonder who they're going to force people to vote for. Ousted Aurora tenants have just hours to leave their homes. Rising threats. Venezuelan protest possible. Like, all they're doing now is creating a bunch of chaos, because in that chaos there's a void of law and order. And in that void of law and order, they can gather and a strong foothold and do all sorts of nefarious activities and become exponentially more difficult in just a short period of time to be kicked out, because they don't give a shit. They don't operate like U.S. gangs operate. You heard all these dudes in the other video saying these guys are going nuts. They do not operate within the same moral and ethical boundaries as people born in America do. As brutal as people in America can be to one another, and it is savage, it can be savage, there's a whole different level of willingness. And where they're willing to go in terms of their savagery, because they're raised in much harsher environments, like Caracas, like a Venezuelan prison, like a Venezuelan mental institution. That's not some rhetoric being spouted about, oh, open borders, all these crazy people coming over. No, these people are really coming over. Cuba did it back in the Cuban migrant back in the 80s. They literally emptied their prisons, and it was a major relief in terms of them having to keep those people alive and locked up and in prison. It did the country a favor because it got rid of all those psychos, brought them to the States. Now, don't get me wrong, Cuba still sucks because it was run under what? Socialism, Marxism, and ultimately a dictatorship. So, communism. Shit doesn't work, ladies and gents. Like, you just want everything given to you because you're fucking lazy is really what it boils down to. And now you got this stuff taking place. And if you don't know how to defend your home, guys, and you have 4 or 5 armed criminals coming in at you like that, know what weapons to use, how to use them, understand the fatal funnel concept, join the Lethality University. I don't even give a shit anymore about marketing this thing because you need to know how to do this. You need to know how to do it. Man, I'm telling you guys, you're going to see me on here, and it's going to be doing this again, but for a family or somebody who was held hostage, beat, raped, murdered. There's going to be a seriously heinous crime if it hasn't already existed, and it just didn't make the news because, what do you know? It's a legal, undocumented person, illegal fucking immigrant is what it is. You guys need to know how to defend yourself. So what could you do in this moment? There's 4 pillars to home defense: deterrence, detection, delaying, and defend. We want to deter as much as we can, make your home less likely or less enticing than the neighbor's home. I mean, just to put it coldly, that's what it is. You don't want a home that looks easy to rob, easy to break into. Then you want to be able to detect if somebody is trying to break into your home instantly. If you have a home security system, you need to calibrate it appropriately, and you need to set it every single day. Only like 30% of people have home security systems, and only like 10% of those people actually ever even arm and calibrate them. It's just a facade at that point. It's actually putting you more at risk because you have this belief deep in the back of your mind that you have a security system that's going to keep you safe. It won't. Then you need to know how to delay them. Replace those screws within your striker jamb, in your door frame. Replace those 1/4-inch screws with 3-inch screws. Right there, you're buying yourself serious time. Have good screens on your windows. Have good, thick windows if you could afford it. Okay? Have the ability to delay these people. Put thorny rose bushes outside of your windows. If somebody's trying to climb in, they get all caught up in the thorns, something. And then lastly, defense. You need to have the guns. You need to have the ability to use them. You need to have the ammo. And you need to understand the fatal funnel concept. How to get your family to safety. Family safety zone. Call it the family emergency response plan. Like, this is insanity, guys. This is insanity. And I'm just so afraid it's going to get a lot worse. So, reach out if you have home defense questions, firearms training, whatever it is. Let me be a resource for you guys. The Lethality University, we pay for your USCCA membership. It's all included in just one simple monthly payment. Never been a time where it's more valuable.